Alright, welcome you guys. Today we'll be talking about parallel and perpendicular lines and a couple things you do need to know. Okay, parallel lines and perpendicular lines are both types of lines that cross or don't cross in the coordinate plane. So let's just talk about the nature of both real fast. Okay, so parallel lines will be lines that never cross. Okay, now lines that never cross are going to have the same rise and run. So technically, parallel lines have the same slope. Okay? So in other words, if one line has a slope of 3, okay, a parallel line, and this is shorthand for parallel, you're going to use shift, and you're going to use the absolute value bars. It's going to be 3 as well. Okay? Right, now perpendicular lines are going to cross at a 90-degree angle. Okay. Now they are negative. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes because they are inverses of each other. In other words, they're like the kind of the opposite type thing. So if one slope is negative 2/3, okay, the perpendicular slope. Now this is kind of cool. You type an upside down capital T, okay, and so watch. I'll show you how it's done. There we go. So that's shorthand for perpendicular line. That is going to be 3/2. You do the opposite, which is you flip the fraction, and then you do the actual, you make it negative. So in other words, if it was positive, you make it negative. If it's negative, you make it positive. Okay? All right, now the most thing a lot of students have is they're given an equation. Let's say y equals 3/4 x minus 5. Find a line perpendicular and parallel to it through a point. And you can pick any point you want. Let's go with something easy, 2, -3. Okay. So my first recommendation is get the slopes you need. So perpendicular slope, and if you can't do the upside down capital T on your computer, which I don't think many people can, is you just write it underneath -4/3. Just perpen means perpendicular. Now parallel is going to be the same slope, so it's going to be 3/4. Okay, so you're going to have two separate equations. So what you're going to do next is you're going to plug into y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, you're going to plug into this slope point formula. Okay, all right, so we plug in everything. So it's going to be y minus -3 equals, let's do the other one first, -4/3 x minus 2. Okay, so that's the first one, and then the parallel one is going to be y minus -3 equals 3/4 times x minus 2. Okay, now your first step, now if you wanted to just say, oh, if it just asked for point slope form, you're done. But if it asks for slope intercept form, you need to distribute the slopes and then solve for y. Okay, so we distribute the slopes, and this turns into y plus 3 equals -4/3 x plus 8/3. Okay, so that just turns into that. Whereas this one, once again, it's turning into a positive 3 because I have a double negative. 3/4 x minus 6/4, which turns into 3/2. Let's just say that much. Okay. Alright, and then all I do is I just minus the 3 to both sides. Minus 3. And I get y equals negative 4/3 x. And if this is a part where you're stuck, please go to Desmos and actually type it in. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and treat this as 3/1. And then this becomes negative 9/3. Okay, and so 8 minus 9 is negative 1. So this becomes minus 1/3. Okay, so that's the perpendicular line. Okay, alright, so that's one way of doing that. Now over here we just minus the 3. Okay, and we get y equals 3/4 x. Okay, and once again we just get a common ratio, so this becomes 2. This becomes negative 6. And negative 3 minus 6 is negative 9. So this becomes negative 9/2. And there you go. And it's as simple as that. These equations are quick, easy, precise to use. Please understand, though, that you do need to use a point-slope form just to be able to get these done so fastly. Okay. Alright, now if you did need to convert to standard form, you would probably add the 4/3 to both sides here. So this becomes 4/3 x plus y equals negative 1/3. And you don't want any fractions when you're doing this, and you don't want this first term to be negative, so we want to get rid of the fraction and the negative, so we're going to multiply everything by 3. So it's almost like 3 parentheses, and then you have a parentheses at the end, and then you distribute the 3 to each part. Okay, so this becomes 4x plus 3y equals negative 1. So that's standard form for that one. Now on this one, we would multiply everything by the common denominator, which, well, you could actually do in the beginning, but we're going to go ahead and minus it over to the other side, so it's going to become negative 3/4 x plus y equals negative 9/2. Okay, and what we would do is we would probably multiply everything by negative 4. Okay, just to get rid of that negative right here. Okay, so what this becomes is 3x minus 4y equals 18. Okay, and when you multiply it out, make sure you check with Desmos. Okay, all right, but that's it for parallel and perpendicular lines. I hope you guys enjoy it. Have a great day. Bye.